Have you ever felt that people react to you in ways you can't quite explain? If you have a strong personality, you've probably noticed that some people are naturally drawn to you, while others seem unsettled. The truth is, not everyone knows how to handle a force of nature. For men, your strength may make you magnetic to some women, but it can also spark envy in other men. For women, a strong and confident personality, as studies show, can be seen as a threat by some men, while others find it irresistibly attractive. The reality is that having a strong and intimidating personality doesn't mean being rude or cold. It means carrying an undeniable presence that commands respect and attention. However, here's the crucial point. If you don't understand why people react to you this way, you might misinterpret certain situations or even start doubting yourself. That's why today, we're going to reveal 10 signs that you have a strong and intimidating personality. These insights will help you recognize your power and navigate the world with confidence and elegance. Before we begin, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let's get to it. Number 1. You prefer to be rational rather than follow the crowd. There's something truly remarkable, and sometimes intimidating, about people who choose reason over conformity. You are the one others turn to for an objective perspective, free from emotions or social pressures. However, this choice, as admirable as it is, can make some see you as an intimidating figure. Imagine this scene, a lively conversation where everyone agrees and nods along to maintain harmony. But instead of simply fitting in, you ask questions, not to disagree, but to clarify. You point out contradictions, support your arguments with logic and evidence, and suddenly, the atmosphere changes. Some feel enlightened, but others may feel threatened by your sharp approach. The German philosopher Arthur Schopenhauer once said, "A man is loved by others in proportion to how much he moderates his demands on their feelings and intelligence." This explains why demonstrating rationality can sometimes isolate you. Most people, especially those who have not yet matured emotionally, prefer to feel right rather than face the uncomfortable truth of irrational beliefs. You may have been labeled a know-it-all or a killjoy, but in reality, this is just how some people cope with their insecurities when faced with uncomfortable truths. This doesn't mean you're wrong, only that the way you present the truth may cause discomfort. This is where Stoic philosophy can be a guiding principle. Stoicism teaches that seeking truth and reason is not about imposing oneself on others, but about pursuing clarity and self-improvement. Marcus Aurelius, one of the great Stoic philosophers, wrote, "Truth does no harm, it only needs to be presented with kindness." So when presenting your arguments, remember that the goal is not to win a debate, but to open minds to new perspectives. At the same time, choosing reason does not mean dismissing emotions. Balancing rationality with empathy is what truly makes you strong. Instead of relying solely on arguments, try putting yourself in others' shoes to understand why they think the way they do. This not only makes your communication more effective, but also strengthens relationships built on respect. When you stand firm in your principles, those who value truth will see you as a source of inspiration, a guiding light. But remember, not everyone is ready to face the truth, and that's okay. True strength lies not only in holding on to your convictions, but in using truth to build, not destroy. Let your rationality be a beacon, not just for yourself but for those around you. Number 2. Other people's validation is not important to you. There is an invisible yet powerful force in freeing yourself from the need for others' approval. If you don't require validation to make decisions, you've reached a level of self-awareness and independence that many only dream of achieving. You act because you believe it's the right thing to do, not because you need someone's permission. Imagine this situation. A friend invites you out on a Friday night, but you decline. Not because you don't like them, but because you're focused on finishing a personal project or simply need time to recharge. You feel no need to apologize or worry about seeming boring. It was your decision, and you're perfectly comfortable with it. This level of self-confidence may inspire admiration in some, but it can also make others uncomfortable. As Arthur Schopenhauer pointed out, this trait reflects emotional maturity and deep self-awareness. When you don't need others' validation to justify your choices, You have surpassed the threshold of dependence on social approval. This doesn't mean you are indifferent or insensitive, but rather that you understand your own worth and know what aligns with your beliefs, regardless of external opinions. However, not everyone will see it that way. Some may interpret your lack of need for validation as arrogance or detachment. They may mistake your independence for disregard for their opinion when, in reality, it's simply an assertion of your own identity. This can create discomfort, especially for those who heavily rely on others' approval. Stoicism teaches that true autonomy comes from focusing on what you can control and letting go of what you cannot. When you stop seeking external validation, you are practicing a higher level of mental freedom. You stand firm in your actions and beliefs, rather than being swayed by societal expectations. But how do you maintain this balance? On one hand, you don't want to become so detached that you lose connection with others. On the other, you don't want to let other people's opinions determine your path. The answer lies in listening to others with respect, but in the end, staying true to your values and decisions. This is the delicate balance between living authentically and building meaningful relationships. By living without the need for external validation, you not only inspire others but also encourage them to find their own inner strength. This trait is not just admirable, it's rare. Instead of seeking approval, let your actions and values speak for themselves. This independence is the foundation of your strength, and when used wisely, it becomes a beacon for others to follow. Number 3. You have a strong moral code. People with solid moral principles stand out not because they want to, but because they simply can't act any other way. In a world where flexibility is often valued more than integrity, these individuals become a clear reflection of what sets them apart. They are not easily swayed by temptations or subtle manipulations, which makes them both admired and intimidating. Imagine a leader in a company who is not impressed by superficial charm or flattery. An employee who is used to gaining advantages through persuasive conversations suddenly realizes they cannot hide their flaws from this boss. The failed attempts at manipulation not only leave the employee unsettled, but also spark deep respect for the leader. Those who adhere to strict moral principles force others to confront their own shortcomings, often exposing weaknesses they'd rather hide. In today's society, where bending the rules is sometimes seen as cleverness, people with unwavering values are often considered naive. But it is precisely this distinction that makes them intimidating. They do not conform to a culture of compromises, nor follow the currents of corruption. In silence, they disrupt an order where almost everything seems negotiable. Stoic philosophy teaches that integrity is not about public displays of virtue, but rather a deep internal state. It remains firm in the face of pressure, temptation, or judgment. When you live according to strong moral principles, you are not only adding value to yourself, but also inspiring others. However, be prepared for resistance from those who are used to abandoning their values. As Denzel Washington once said, "Some people will never like you because your spirit irritates their demons." So how do you maintain your principles without isolating yourself? The most important thing is understanding that being true to your values does not mean imposing them on others. There is no need to prove anything. Your actions speak for themselves. True integrity does not seek recognition, but earns respect and admiration from those who share the same ideals. If your firmness unsettles or confuses some people, remember that it says more about them than about you. Focus on doing what is right, not to please anyone, but because that is your essence. Living with strong moral principles is not just a choice but a statement that you will not compromise your values, regardless of external pressures. While it is a challenging path, it is the route to a meaningful and fulfilling life. Number 4. You are not bothered by being alone. There is a unique strength in feeling comfortable in your own company, and not everyone possesses this ability. In a world where social connections are often seen as a measure of personal worth, those who do not rely on them exude a quiet and magnetic presence. They do not reject society, but carefully choose who is worthy of their time and energy. However, this independence does not come naturally. It is shaped by pain and difficult life lessons. Imagine Sarah, someone who always deeply trusted a friendship, only to be repeatedly disappointed. In moments when she needed support the most, the people she relied on seemed to disappear. One day, after losing the job she had dedicated herself to, Sarah called her best friend for comfort. Instead of support, she received an indifferent response, "Oh, it's not that bad." At that moment, Sarah realized that relying on others often only leads to frustration. From that day on, she decided to face her challenges alone, finding strength and peace within herself. People like Sarah are not closed off from the world. They have simply learned to find power in their own company. When you can sit in silence, facing your thoughts and emotions without fear, loneliness loses its power. However, this independence often leads to misunderstandings. Others may see them as intimidating, projecting onto them a strength so deep that it forces them to reflect on their own insecurities. Those who are not bothered by being alone do not need anyone's approval to feel complete. After experiencing multiple disappointments, they have realized that true happiness does not come from pleasing everyone but from finding inner peace. This does not mean they do not desire connection. Deep down, they still long for genuine relationships, bonds built on understanding and shared authenticity. Stoic philosophy teaches us that independence is not about giving up on others, but about approaching life with confidence and taking full responsibility for oneself, without blaming others or external circumstances. When you are not afraid to be alone, you do not just demonstrate strength, you prove that you have overcome life's wounds. Like Sarah, you have realized that you do not need to rely on anyone else because you have already found the most reliable companion, yourself. Before we continue, if you're enjoying the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Turn on the notification bell so you won't miss future content. And if this kind of reflection resonates with you, comment, "I am who I am, and I'm proud of it." Let's keep learning together. Number 5. You can have difficult conversations. Think about the last time you found yourself in an uncomfortable situation where someone acted wrongly, yet the room remained silent. Maybe it was a colleague who always missed deadlines, a friend who repeatedly let you down, or even a family member who avoided taking responsibility. You felt frustrated, but like most people, you chose to stay quiet. Why? Because facing the truth takes courage, and that's not easy. Now, imagine deciding to act differently. During a team meeting, a colleague failed to meet deadlines, delaying everyone's progress. Instead of staying silent, you choose to speak, not to criticize, but to find a solution. "I've noticed we're struggling to stay on schedule. Is there something we can do to support each other better?" Your approach is direct yet constructive, demonstrating both responsibility and concern. The room takes notice, and even the colleague acknowledges their part in the situation. Stoic philosophy teaches us that truth should prevail over comfort. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Do not fear speaking the truth, for it will always be the foundation of progress." When you have the courage to face a difficult truth, you not only improve the situation but also demonstrate inner strength. It's not about hurting others, but about leading with integrity and bravery. This doesn't apply only to the workplace. Maybe you're in a relationship where you feel disrespected, or you have a friend who constantly takes advantage of your kindness. When you find the courage to express your feelings sincerely, you set boundaries, protect your self-worth, and more importantly, create space for healthier connections. Still, not everyone will immediately appreciate your honesty. Some may feel threatened, while others will admire the strength and honesty you've shown. Either way, the ability to have difficult conversations not only earns you the respect of others, but also strengthens the respect you have for yourself. The next time you face a situation that requires the truth, don't hesitate. It's an opportunity to affirm your strength, not just in front of others, but within yourself. And in that moment, you won't just be intimidating, you'll be respected, valued, and truly admirable. Number 6. You stand out in social settings. Imagine arriving at a family gathering. Suddenly, conversations quiet down, and subtle glances turn toward you. You haven't said or done anything unusual, yet for a moment, the atmosphere shifts. You wonder, did I do something wrong? But no, This has nothing to do with mistakes. It's simply the power of your presence. Think of a casual dinner filled with laughter and light-hearted conversations. The moment you arrive, the energy changes. Conversations seem more restrained, and people become more reserved. You notice it and feel a slight discomfort. A close friend approaches, but instead of the usual carefree conversation, they speak cautiously, as if afraid of saying the wrong thing. You try to engage, but there's an invisible barrier, a distance that didn't exist before. It's a subtle but painful reality. Your strength and confidence create an involuntary separation. You want to connect, to belong, but your striking presence can make others hesitate, unsure of how to approach you. Stoic philosophy reminds us that true strength lies not in being widely accepted, but in staying true to your values, even when it means being misunderstood. Now, imagine participating in a discussion. You share your opinions, but instead of a healthy debate, others either agree passively or avoid eye contact, reluctant to challenge your perspective. This can lead to a sense of isolation. Your confidence, even when not directly expressed, can intimidate others, making them feel as if they're not on your level. This situation can be even harder in personal circles. A close friend may stop sharing their funny stories, or a family member may avoid your direct questions. It hurts when those you love seem to pull away, but it's not because they don't care. The truth is, they see your strength and simply don't know how to match it. But remember this, your strength is not something you should apologize for. On the contrary, it's a powerful reminder of the influence you carry. What truly matters is how you use that influence to foster understanding and connection. Instead of trying to soften who you are, embrace your strength with empathy and active listening. Let your confidence become a space of support and inspiration for others, rather than a reason for hesitation or distance. By doing so, you won't just close that gap, you'll transform your relationships into genuine connections built on respect, trust, and authenticity. Your strength can be the foundation for deeper understanding, not a barrier to connection. Number 7. Your words carry weight. Have you ever noticed that when you speak, people stop to listen more attentively? This doesn't happen just out of politeness. It's because your words hold a value that not everyone possesses. It's not a loud voice that commands respect, but the way you express yourself, with calmness, confidence, and clarity, that makes your words resonate deeply with those around you. Imagine yourself in a group of friends, all laughing and chatting casually. But when you begin to share a thought, the room goes quiet. No one interrupts, not because you demand attention, but because they sense that what you're about to say matters. This might even surprise or unsettle you since you may be sharing just a simple opinion, yet the reaction from others makes it clear that your words carry more influence than you realize. The impact of what you say isn't always just about the content, it's also about how you choose the right moment to speak and the way you deliver your message. Stoic philosophy teaches that careful speech reflects self-control and wisdom. When you don't waste words, each one becomes more valuable. People notice that you carefully consider what you say, which makes them pay closer attention. However, this dynamic can create invisible pressure. Some people may find it difficult to talk to you, worried about finding the right answer instead of reacting naturally. A friend may admit they feel tense discussing something with you, thinking you always have a deeper or more precise view. This unintentional effect can cause others to admire you, but approach with caution. The key is to turn this ability into a tool for connection, not distancing. When you realize your words carry weight, encourage others to participate. Ask questions instead of just offering answers. Encourage differing opinions to create more engaging dialogues. This will not only strengthen your relationships, but also help others feel valued in your presence. Remember, this ability is a gift, but also a responsibility. By choosing your words wisely and using them to elevate others, you become a source of inspiration, not pressure. Stoic philosophy reminds us that true strength is not just in influence, but in the ability to promote reflection and positive change around us. Use this power with intention and discernment. Number 8. You are decisive and direct. If you can make quick and clear decisions, you possess one of the most prominent traits of a strong and admirable personality. This ability stands out not only in important choices, like career changes, but also in everyday situations, like deciding where to have lunch. While others hesitate, your confidence shines, something that can inspire but also intimidate. Imagine going out with a group of friends to choose a restaurant. While everyone remains undecided, you analyze the options and quickly suggest, "Let's go to place X. The food is great, and we won't have to wait." Everyone agrees, and your determination ensures the night runs smoothly. However, this quickness may sometimes make others feel overshadowed, especially those who are naturally more indecisive. Being decisive doesn't just mean making the right choice, but committing to your decisions. Stoic philosophy teaches that a determined person isn't swayed by conflicting opinions or paralyzed by the fear of making a mistake. Instead, they focus on action, embrace risks, and don't let doubts delay their progress. This mindset not only favors your own achievements, but also makes others see you as a leader. However, this trait can present challenges. Your objectivity and clarity may sometimes be interpreted as rudeness or insensitivity. You might point out a mistake easily, but if you do so in public, it could embarrass someone instead of helping them. For example, correcting a friend for a minor slip in speech might be helpful, but if done in front of others, it could make them uncomfortable rather than grateful. The secret is to balance firmness with tact and kindness. Arthur Schopenhauer wisely observed that creating unnecessary enmities due to a lack of courtesy is as imprudent as setting fire to your own house. Politeness is a powerful tool to maintain healthy relationships without compromising your strong personality. This doesn't mean abandoning your principles, but using your clarity constructively. When you master the art of balanced decision-making, you not only take control of your life, but also inspire those around you. Having a strong personality is not about intimidating others, but about guiding, supporting, and creating a positive environment. A well-made decision, at the right time and with respect, not only propels you toward your goals but also reinforces your value in the eyes of others. Number 9. You don't seek approval. While many people shape their actions to please others, you follow your own path without needing external validation. Your confidence doesn't depend on acceptance, which can be inspiring for some but uncomfortable for those who haven't developed the same sense of security. Imagine being in a group where everyone agrees just to avoid conflict. Someone expresses a popular opinion, and most nod in agreement without questioning it. But you, instead of simply going along with the crowd, reflect before speaking, and if necessary, challenge the idea with solid arguments. This may earn you respect, but also distance. Some may view your stance as stubbornness or coldness when, in reality, it's just the manifestation of your intellectual independence. Stoic philosophy teaches that depending on others' approval is a path to dissatisfaction. Seneca wrote, "The greatest misfortune is to desire to be loved by all." When you act based on your own values instead of seeking acceptance, you experience a freedom that few know. However, this freedom comes with a price. Those who don't understand this independence may feel insecure or even threatened. This can be especially evident in close relationships. A friend may expect you to agree with them unconditionally, but when they realize you have your own opinions and don't easily conform, they may interpret it as disinterest or coldness. A romantic partner might find your emotional autonomy strange, confusing it with detachment. The balance lies in affirming your independence without pushing others away. Being true to yourself doesn't mean ignoring others' feelings. You can show empathy and understanding without compromising your principles. Asking, "Why do you see it that way?" instead of simply disagreeing can open a space for dialogue without making your stance feel like a barrier. Accepting that not everyone will understand your independence is part of the process. But by staying authentic, you attract people who truly appreciate you for who you are, not for who they expect you to be. True strength is not in being accepted by all, but in staying true to yourself, even when it means walking alone. Number 10. You handle solitude well. While many avoid loneliness at all costs, you face it head-on and even value it. For you, being alone doesn't mean being lost, but rather having space for reflection and growth. This ability can be inspiring to some, but unsettling for those who haven't yet learned to feel comfortable with themselves. Think about how many people fill their lives with distractions just to avoid silence. They are always surrounded by friends, glued to social media, or seeking constant validation. But you are different. You enjoy moments of solitude because you understand that it is in these moments that you find clarity, purpose, and inner strength. Stoic philosophy teaches that true freedom comes from the ability to be self-sufficient. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "He who lives in harmony with himself lives in harmony with the universe." You don't need constant external stimuli to feel complete. However, this independence can sometimes be misinterpreted. Some people may see your comfort with solitude as isolation or arrogance. Friends may think you don't need them simply because you don't seek them out all the time. A partner might confuse your need for space with disinterest. The truth is, your ability to be alone doesn't mean you reject connections. It simply means you don't depend on them to feel fulfilled. The challenge lies in balancing this self-sufficiency without seeming indifferent. Showing that you value the people around you, even though you don't need them to fill a void, can strengthen your relationships. Small gestures, like genuinely asking how someone is or taking time for a meaningful conversation, can show that your independence doesn't exclude affection and consideration. Remembering that solitude is a privilege, not a burden, makes all the difference. While others seek company to avoid their own thoughts, you choose it to strengthen yourself. Your ability to be alone not only reinforces your inner strength, but also inspires others to find comfort within themselves. So, did you identify with any of these signs? If you have a strong personality, remember, this is not a burden, it's your greatest virtue. Your strength allows you to lead, stand confidently, and build relationships based on genuine respect. However, like any powerful skill, it's essential to use it wisely. May your presence inspire, not push others away. Being confident doesn't mean stopping listening to others, and being strong doesn't mean shutting yourself off from genuine connections. If this video was helpful to you, leave a like and share it with your friends, especially with someone who needs to remember their own strength. Don't forget to subscribe to continue exploring the power of mindset and personality with Stoic teachings. And here's an invitation. Comment below, "I am who I am and I'm proud of it." We'd love to hear your stories and reflections. See you in the next video.